In Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Starkiller's life was cut unexpectedly short once he engaged Palpatine. If Starkiller didn't die in The Force Unleashed, then I believe his encounter with Palpatine would have gone differently, and the rest of the story would have unfolded something like this.
Give in to your hatred.
Starkiller would look down at Palpatine, who told him to do it, to destroy him, that this is his destiny. Starkiller would think to himself, as Ram Koda would tell him that it's not the Jedi way. However, this time, Starkiller wouldn't hesitate. He knew this wasn't an act of revenge, but rather an act of mercy. He promised himself that he wouldn't be damned to the dark side, and with the stroke of his lightsaber, he slashed down upon Palpatine, ending the Emperor's reign. The story can either continue two ways from here, the first being the most realistic, which we'll cover today. Although it's not the most exciting, it does leave us with the most realistic answer. And the second, if you wanted, I could make that fanfiction as well, which would be more of an elaborate story, leading us with an all-out cinematic, dramatic, and completely unrealistic ending. But for today's scenario, we would see that Starkiller would make a quick exit with Koda and the other senators, right after he kills Palpatine. The rogue shadow would quickly jettison off into hyperspace. Vader would snap back to his feet, only to find his master's lifeless body. He would marvel at the sight of this. He was finally free, no longer shackled to Palpatine's bidding. Darth Vader would become the new Emperor of the galaxy, while Starkiller and the other rebels would rally on Kashyyyk. They would discuss how to deal with Vader and the Death Star. Starkiller knew that he could take Vader, but he didn't know how to destroy the Death Star. For that, they would need fighters. Starkiller would see Juno step out for some air, looking out at the starry night sky. He would join her and tell her that everything was going to be okay. He would say to her that he was alive and that their mission was to continue rallying others. She would nod and walk back in, leaving him to look out in the stars. It's okay, he thought. He was alive and at peace with himself. And so, over the next year, Starkiller would rally others to the rebellion, mount rescue missions, free worlds from the Empire, and truly become the face of the ever-growing Rebel Alliance. Starkiller would represent the Force, the old ways of the Republic, the face of the Jedi Order. Finally, the day had come. With enough fighters, ships, and resources, their mission was to destroy the Death Star, along with Vader, Moff Tarkin, and every Imperial. However, this wasn't going to be easy. With Vader now being the new Emperor, he was able to upgrade his suit. He would be twice as powerful and twice as deadly with his new and improved prosthetics. He would look just like he did when he was Anakin, being able to have access to the Empire's full medical technology and the best doctors in the entire galaxy. He would be almost unstoppable. The Vader that Starkiller fought was nothing compared to the god who ran the Empire with an iron fist. In order to defeat Vader, Starkiller was given a special mission by Bail. Bail told Starkiller that he had an old friend, someone who could help him take down the Emperor. He told Starkiller that he could find this person on Tatooine, and that, just like him, he was a Jedi. Starkiller would leave immediately. He would find an old Ben Kenobi watching over the young Luke Skywalker. Starkiller would explain to Obi-Wan the situation and how he needs his help. Obi-Wan in this timeline would have no real reason to disagree. Luke was safe for the time being, and with the Emperor dead, he knew that they could take Vader on together. Kenobi would agree, and the two would set course in the Rogue Shadow for the Death Star. Arriving, they would see how the station was now fully complete and ready to be unleashed upon the galaxy. Starkiller would tell Juno to land in the Mang hangar, and the two would sneak off the ship, eventually finding the elevator that led directly to Lord Vader's headquarters. Darth Vader would feel the disturbance in the Force. Turning around, he would see his old apprentice standing next to old Obi-Wan Kenobi. Vader's eyes would be stained with hatred, and he would leap toward the two, lightsaber ignited. All three of them would begin to clash blades, and with each blow, the galaxy's fate rests in their hands. Vader would be so fast that his lightsaber would only be seen in a red blur. Kenobi would rely heavily on his Form 3 Zarisu, while Starkiller relied on his Form 5 Shien. They would continue to exchange blows until Vader would break Starkiller's barrier and force choke him. Kenobi would have little time to react, and so he would throw his lightsaber at Vader, who caught it using his cybernetic hand. He would then use the Force to launch Kenobi's saber right through his chest. Kenobi was too slow and old to react. Vader's powers were now far beyond his, and he would fall back. Starkiller would scream, enraged, and he would use Force Repel to propel Vader back. Vader would stand, while Starkiller summoned both his and Kenobi's saber to his grasp. He would become so unbelievably fast that Vader was now the one who had trouble keeping up. Kenobi, in his last dying breath, would transcend himself into a Force ghost and become one with the Force. Vader would eventually begin to tire, while Starkiller would then slice right through his head, dropping him to the ground. Vader would look up at the young Galen Marek, who would put both his and Kenobi's lightsaber to his throat, reminding him of what he did to Dooku all those years ago. Vader would tell Starkiller to do it, to finish him right then and there, to strike him down, and to take his place. Starkiller would think about it, contemplating his options, but he knew that if he struck Vader down, then he would condemn himself to the dark side forever, as Vader was the one being who caused him the most pain and suffering. He would turn off his lightsabers and shackle Vader. He would then take the Dark Lord as his prisoner. Starkiller would then leave the Death Star as the Rebel fleet came out of hyperspace. With Vader now out of the picture, the Death Star was now extremely vulnerable, and they would successfully destroy it. Vader would be imprisoned far away, and Starkiller would become the new leader of the rebellion and a symbol of hope in the New Republic. The Empire would eventually crumble, and Starkiller would eventually build his own Jedi Order, and per the request of Obi-Wan, he would end up training Luke Skywalker in the ways of the Force, and turn him into one of the greatest Jedi the Order has ever seen. Yoda and Obi-Wan's Force Ghost would also help guide this new generation of Force users. Leia would be the leader of the New Republic along with her father Bail on Alderaan, as the Death Star would never destroy their planet. The galaxy would see true peace and harmony, until Vader would break free from his imprisonment and wreak havoc upon the galaxy. What did you think of today's fan fiction? It took me a lot of time to write this one out, as I felt there were multiple scenarios for when Starkiller could have survived. However, I thought that having him kill Palpatine was the most realistic answer for this scenario. It feels really good to be back and making fan fictions, and tomorrow I plan to have another one out for all of you. But what do you think nonetheless? Would Starkiller have really beaten Vader? Could Vader have killed Starkiller and Obi-Wan? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'm thinking about doing a graphic novel giveaway. I haven't done many giveaways on this channel, and I think it would be nice. You guys definitely deserve it. I'll see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Story, where you can expect another action-packed fanfic. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are watching this in the galaxy, and until we meet again, my fellow Jedi Knights and Sith Lords, remember,
the Force will be with you always.
You are on this council, but we grant you the right.